What do we got, Ed?
Well, two big album anniversaries going on today. Today marks, well, at least here in the States, the 50th anniversary of Led Zeppelin II, considered by many, this is not blasphemous, considered by many to be far superior than Led Zeppelin I. Also, today is the 45th anniversary of a different sophomore album, Kiss's Hotter Than Hell.
Yeah, I tweeted about both of them earlier today. I meant to mention it in my open, and I got onto some other stuff, but Zeppelin 2, I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said? It's a monster record. Hard to believe that it's 50 years old already, but it is. But Kiss Hotter Than Hell, which you could easily make the case there wouldn't have been a Kiss if there wasn't a Zeppelin. But Kiss Hotter Than Hell, which is their second album. It's funny, Ed, because as we're talking, there's a TV commercial on right now for Apple's service to try to get their service for their shows. It's endless. Like what you're gonna have, you literally need to have like 10 streaming services if you want to see everything. I don't know where this ends. Anyway, Hotter Than Hell, second Kiss record. An interesting record if you're a hardcore Kiss fan because the production on it is really weird. There's some great songs, but the record is almost compressed and distorted sounding at times. And I don't know, I love the record because I love Kiss and early Kiss especially, and there's great songs on it, but production-wise, the story I had heard was, and the same producers did it that did the first record, and one of the knocks on early Kiss, especially if you put it up against something like Zeppelin 2, is that sonically, the production on Kiss records wasn't nearly as good as it was on records of that time that were other rock records, like Zeppelin, which was just a few years earlier. But they used the same guys that do Hotter Than Hell, but that did the first album to do Hotter Than Hell, the second Kiss record. But one of the criticisms of the first Kiss record was that it was thin sounding and just sonically it didn't capture what the band sounded like live. It wasn't as crunchy. So it seemed like, from an outsider's perspective and somebody that's not a musician, that for Hotter Than Hell, the album, the follow-up, they just decided, well, we'll fix that by just making everything louder. Even if it's at the expense of sonics and audio quality and separation and clean sound, they just cranked everything. And it just got to be this sort of compressed, I don't know how to explain the sound of that record. And I guess over the years, just like anything, you get used to it and you tend to like it, actually. In a weird way, you sort of like what it is. But it's definitely a record that if I could go back and remix a Kiss record to see what it would sound like in a different mix, that would be probably my top candidate, one of them for sure. Because it's sonically a really interesting record. The other thing about it is the band recorded it in L.A., which at that time was the first time they had ever worked in L.A. and gone. I think some of them even gone to L.A. or something, because they were obviously New York City based for the longest time and from New York City. So there's some interesting stories about that. The back album cover shoot, they were all drunk, and it's a crazy photo shoot with, I think, a photographer named Norman Seeff. That logo, the first time they came up with the hybrid logo of all four of their makeup designs on the back album cover. Just an interesting record in Kiss history for sure. The Japanese graphics on the album cover, at that point they hadn't even gone to Japan yet. But there's great songs on that record as well.
Yeah, why did they do that? Was it meant to emulate a Japanese import?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. At that time, here they are, second record, still a new band, still far from having mainstream success. And I don't know. I just think they were just trying to find their way still and figure it out. And I don't really know all the thought process behind it. Maybe they didn't at the time either.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting album cover. The back cover photo has a lot of history to it. The sound of the record, even though it's the same producers as the first record, Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise, completely different, crunchier to the point of almost distortion at times. But great songs are great songs, and there are great songs on it.
Well, better sounding than Saint Anger, I always say. Anyway, Anvil are set to release a new album. The album will be titled Legal at Last. I sure hope that title has nothing to do with the aforementioned holiday. Yeah.
I think that, yeah, right. I think that title probably has something to do with the fact, and I'm speculating on this, but I know those guys, may have something to do with the fact that weed is legal in Canada. Ooh. Because those guys are big weed guys.
Really?
And yeah.
Really? I say facetiously? Really?
Yeah. Big weed guys, and weed, I'm pretty sure countrywide is now legal in Canada. So something tells me there's going to be a weed angle to that title. Just taking a shot here, but I think we're going in that direction.
Yeah, a little speculation, but sound reasoning.
Yeah.
A story from last week we did not get to, Eddie. Toto wrapped up their 40th anniversary tour in Philadelphia over the weekend. The band was joined by keyboardist David Page, who made a surprise appearance as he has been suffering from health problems in recent time. Fitting as well, because according to guitarist Steve Lukather, the future of the band remains uncertain. He told the Pennsylvania newspaper, that is, the Morning Call ahead of the gig, and I quote, "I don't know what the future is going to be, but I do know that's going to be the last show, ... for the foreseeable future, and certainly the end of this configuration of Toto."
By the way, Steve Lukather's celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, cool.
Texted him earlier, got back to me, so happy birthday, Luke. Enjoy your day, and we'll see what the future of his band is. I mean, look, obviously Toto does incredibly well, and we all know what's going on with this renaissance of the song Africa. But Lukather has so much session work and plays with so many different people, including Ringo Starr, that he'll always be busy. But obviously that's his baby, and hopefully that continues for him.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. According to my 8-year-old son, Africa is a Weezer song now. So.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
And the last big story I have today, talking to the site Eon Music in the UK, guitarist KK Downing says something that should come as no surprise to any human being alive, that if Judas Priest does get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he is open to playing with his former bandmates. Duh. He says, I don't know what the deal is. If a nominated person like me or one-time Priest drummer Les Binks gets in, are we entitled to play? I don't know how that all works, but I guess we'll fathom that all out. Very British of him. Now, 7 members are listed as eligible as part of Priest, including Binks and KK.
Richie Faulkner is not, right?
No, he's not. Hang on. Let me look here. I have it right on my computer. No, Les Binks, KK Downing, Rob Halford, Ian Hill, Dave Holland, Glenn Tipton, and Scott Travis.
So I have, I forgot to mention this. The ballot came out. I have the ballot.
Oh, cool.
If people follow me on social media, Twitter or Instagram, I tweeted out a photo of the cover of this year's ballot. The ballots are out to the voters, folks. Mine showed up in my mail yesterday. I'm looking at it. I got it sitting right here.